Why you self-sabotage in sobriety and how to stop. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm really going to be diving into the psychology behind self-sabotage, because I know it's really frustrating and feels really self-defeating when you really want to stop drinking. You don't want to drink anymore. You're 100% committed. And yet you find yourself sabotaging that, right? You find yourself one day 100% committed and really want to do this, and then a few days or weeks later you don't understand why you've drunk the last 3 nights, right? How that happened. And I want to explain exactly what is happening in that process, because it's really going to help you defeat it if you know what's happening. There's so much that's going on that once you know what it is, it's like, oh, that's what's happening, right? And then what that gives us the ability to do is to navigate around these blocks. Otherwise, all that happens is we just keep repeating the same mistake. We just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. And what we want to get to is a point where we can go, oh, there's that, and navigate around it. So once you understand some of the psychology that's happening behind self-sabotage, hopefully you'll be equipped to start navigating around that. So self-sabotage, it's not a character flaw. Stop beating yourself up. Stop, because I think you're doing that a lot, right? That you, if you keep failing, you're beating. It's not a character flaw. It's a protective mechanism rooted in the subconscious mind. Now, if you follow any of my work, you know I talk a lot about the programming that's in the subconscious mind. It's one of the really big things that we have to get a handle on and start working on. And self-sabotage is very much linked to the voice of the ego. So that's how you self-sabotage, is because you have a voice in your head. We all have a voice in our head. We're not crazy. We're all narrating our own lives. That's what the voice of the ego does. And its primary purpose is to keep you safe. And what the ego believes is best for your safety is if everything stays familiar, so nothing changes. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. Just sit with that a second. Your brain, like there's a lot of complicated things happening here, and everything. We are built to survive and reproduce. That basically, we're animals. So we are built for survival. Therefore, that's why your brain, your ego voice, favors predictable discomfort over unknown joy. Just like sit with that for a second, right? Drinking is predictable discomfort. Sobriety, the land of sober, this being in the world sober, holidays, vacations, all the things sober, emotional sobriety is an unknown land. Now, I'm here telling you, it's amazing. Come on in. It's great. It's fantastic. But it's unknown joy. So your brain is always going to select what is predictable, even though it's painful and uncomfortable, because it's familiar. So that is really, really key to know about why you self-sabotage your sobriety. A big part of this is because you have to go into the unknown. Living as an alcohol-free person in this wet world, it's unknown, right? My drinking career, I knew how to do it. You know, I knew what to do, how to do it, and pretty much how it was going to go. And I think you do as well. Your drinking is you know how to do it. You've done it a million times. You know how you're going to feel. You know what's going to happen. It's uncomfortable, but it's predictable. And that's what our survival system wants. Alcohol used to be the escape, the safety. Sobriety feels like uncharted territory. So your brain will look for ways to go back to what it knows. So for example, if chaos was your normal, peace might feel threatening, even if you want it. And this shows up not just in drinking, but this will show up a lot in our patterns of relating, right? If you had a very chaotic childhood, you recreate that chaos in your adulthood because it's familiar. Even though as a child you didn't want that chaos, you didn't like it, you didn't want it, you wished your house was calm and peaceful and your parents didn't argue or whatever it was, you will create that in your adulthood because it's familiar. Now, good news is you can break these patterns. And a lot of it is understanding what is happening. I remember when I was about 15 months sober and I was moving, right? It's packing, all these things, right? And I remember speaking to someone and saying, it just feels weird. Like I feel like I've forgotten something's wrong. And I kind of went through everything. I've done this, I've done that, I've done these things, but I can't shake this feeling that something's missing and I don't understand what it is. And she said to me, is it the chaos? And I went, oh, yes. Because all of my moving, and I moved a lot when I was drinking, I moved a lot, all of that, there was always chaos with it because I was always hungover and things were not done properly and it was very last minute and I would forget things and there was just always a lot of chaos and that had gone. And so it was weird to me to be able to move without that chaos. And so my brain is kind of like, so we will sometimes subconsciously create things that are familiar. Now, I also want to talk about trauma and fear. And fear of change in particular. Many people in who are looking to get sober have experience of trauma. And the trauma can tell our brains like, yeah, but if you succeed at this, then you'll be alone. You'll lose these people. Your partner won't like you anymore. Or if you grow and change into someone who's healthy and well, they're going to judge you and they might not like you. Right? Or even just stories like you don't deserve this. You don't deserve good things. A lot of that. And again, that's a voice in your head. You're hearing it. That is your ego repeating things that came from past trauma. And that can cause self-sabotage. Because we can believe those stories. Those stories are not true. Whatever stories you're telling yourself, they're not true. Negative stories, they're not true. They're from your past, they're from trauma, they're from childhood. So we need to acknowledge this, like, okay, I see what's happening here. This is resistance to change because it's a new thing. Thank you. I'm just going to do the next right thing. So acknowledge what is happening and then do the next right thing. Let's keep this really simple because even sobriety can actually feel like a loss, right? There is grief. There is a grief experience to go through. Because even though we don't want to drink, we don't want that chaos and we don't want the hangovers and we don't want all the unpleasantness, we don't want that. It means we are still letting go of this identity that we have as a person who drinks. This was big for me because I used alcohol to cope with anxiety. Like it felt very frightening to me to let go of alcohol because I needed a safety blanket that I could rely on to relieve my anxiety like within minutes. And for a long time, that was alcohol. Even though it was making things worse, I was relying on it because it would work in that first like 30 minutes of anxiety hitting. So there's going to be a grief process that we're going to go through. And that's lots of emotions and feelings that are uncomfortable. And some of those emotions and feelings are new because we haven't allowed ourselves to experience emotions and feelings because we've numbed them for so long. So that can be another reason that we sabotage. The part of you that drinks in many ways was trying to save and protect you. And when you take alcohol away, we need something else to replace it. And what that is emotional sobriety, community, and mentorship. That's what we need to replace it with. We can't just take alcohol away and stare into the abyss. It doesn't work. And self-sabotage can show up in all kinds of different ways. It shows up as avoidance, avoiding doing things you need to do or avoiding reaching out to people, procrastination, ghosting people who are cheering you on, picking fights, isolation, talking yourself out of it, looking for the next shiny object. These are all ways that we self-sabotage our growth and our progress into sobriety. So we cannot bully ourselves out of self-sabotage. You need to nurture your way through it. And what I want you to do is really leave this video knowing what is happening. First of all, the information of knowing that this is a subconscious pattern and it's based on survival, keeping you alive, but it's showing up in ways that is unhelpful will be huge for you to start navigating around it. By the way, if you want some tools and ways of working with me, make sure you check below. So this is what I teach all of my clients. Acknowledge what's happening. Do the next right thing. You have a really good idea of what the next wrong thing is. The next right thing, and also keep it very simple. The next right thing, make a cup of tea, go for a walk, hug the dog, call a friend, play Candy Crush on your phone for half an hour to distract yourself from the discomfort of the feelings, whatever it is, just to get through this in the immediate, like early stages. Create safety for yourself. This is the most important thing. You are now an adult with choices and resources, and you can create safety for yourself. Create safety for yourself. Look around, notice that you are safe, right? First of all, look around, notice that will calm the central nervous system down, calm the amygdala down. And look at ways that you can create safety to go into the unknown. Let me know what you think below.